Thank God it's Monday. This is the Freedom Club podcast. I am your very grateful, very thankful, very happy host, Kurt Mercadante. And this isn't just my podcast, it's your podcast as well. And if this is your very first time listening to the Freedom Club podcast, what we are about is living a life of freedom and fulfillment. It's about designing your lifestyle of freedom and fulfillment rather than living a lifestyle by default. And if you, my friends, are so stuck in a rut, in a comfort zone of misery that the mere thought that you would even be able to design your lifestyle seems like a fantasy, stick with us. Keep listening, because week after week, we share actionable steps for you to design your lifestyle. We have guests each week who have broken free, who are helping others break free to that freedom lifestyle. So thank you so much for being here. And if you like what you hear today, if you enjoy what you've heard in the past, please head over to iTunes, leave us a positive rating and review. And don't be offended if you're not an Apple or iTunes person. But if you are, wherever you listen to this, leave us a positive rating and review. Tell your friends about us. Thank you so much for being here. And in today's episode, I answer another in a stream of questions that I answered in a live stream in the Freedom Club community. The Freedom Club community is my private Facebook group of superheroes just like you. Head over to Facebook right now, search Freedom Club Community. You'll see my picture pop up. Click on it. You'll answer some questions. You're in, and you will get to participate in live streams that I do alone. We're actually welcoming members to do live streams as well. And I live stream most of my interviews with my podcast guests. You have the ability, if you're a member of the group, to participate in those live, to watch them, to ask questions. So head over to the Freedom Club community now. Now, in today's episode, it's a snippet of a recent live stream where I took questions from Freedom Club community members. And in this particular one, Robert asked me, I used to travel a lot. And Robert's someone who apparently travels a lot. And I talk a lot about flow, getting in that state of flow. Instead of grinding every day, you hear that hustle and grind porn. I like to call it sleep when you're dead. It's all about the grind, rise and grind. I prefer a state of flow, right? Because when you're flowing, it's easier to get where you're going. You're focused on those outcomes. You're unleashing your superpowers. You have that clear vision. It's all churning and churning. It's like a symphony. Where at the end of the day, you don't feel like you're grinding, you feel like you're flowing, but you're actually getting your shit done. And Robert asked, how do you stay in a state of flow while you're traveling, while you're on the road for work? So in today's episode, I answer that question as a former road warrior and sometimes still road warrior myself. Happy to answer that question. Here it is now.
Welcome to the Freedom Club podcast, where we strive to pull you out of your life of quiet desperation, out of your comfort zone of misery, and propel you into a life of freedom and fulfillment. And now, here's your host for this journey, international speaker and coach, and serial entrepreneur, Kurt Mercadante.
So Robert asks, what are some top tricks for living in the flow on the road? Robert, I used to travel a lot. I used to love traveling. Now I really don't like traveling. So for me, the key is whether you are traveling or whether you're at home. There's 5 pillars of the freedom lifestyle. There's unleashing your superpowers. There's having a clear life vision. There's aligning your life between your relationships, your family, yourself, and your work. And then there's key outcomes. And I used to use travel as an excuse to just let the systems I had built up, my daily journaling, focusing on outcomes, kind of fall by the wayside. I don't do that anymore. I still, whether I'm on the road or I'm at home, I have 3 outcomes I know to win the day. I have 1 outcome for work, 1 big outcome for work. And a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I got 20 daily outcomes for work. No, those are inputs. Pick 1. If you don't get this 1 thing done today, is your business going to go out of business? I was working with a bank president once, and I told him to pick 3 things, 3 outcomes tomorrow to focus on. Otherwise, the bank was going to go out of business. He was going to lose his job, whatever it is. He said, maybe it's 3. And it's not that you don't have to get these things done, but maybe you don't have to get them done today. Maybe you can get them done next Monday. Robert, when I travel, when I fly, I don't work anymore. I read a book. I invest in myself. So it's important to focus on those 3 key outcomes. And if you're judging the success of your day on whether or not you can get like 20 to-dos done, you're doing it wrong. You're piling shit into your day. You're basing your day on useless inputs that may or may not make any difference on the outcomes you want to achieve that day. And so becoming radically outcomes focused every single day, every week, every month, every year, becoming radically outcomes focused in your life is one of the 5 pillars of the freedom lifestyle. And that's whether you're on the road or you're at home. So you have to focus on those all the time. The other thing I do to stay on the flow, in the flow when I'm on the road, is I try to mimic what I do at home. Every morning at home, I get up and I read in my book. You should do that at the hotel. I work out, I exercise. Make sure to do that at the hotel, go for a walk, whatever it is. Invest in your self-care and your relationships while you're on the road. Make sure to get in that FaceTime or Facebook chat or whatever it is with your family while you're on the road. Try to mimic as much as possible your home while you're living on the road and traveling for work. And by the way, if you are in a job that in which to travel is so bad that it's beating you into the ground and it's making that alignment in your life impossible, then it might be time to find a new job. And that might be tough medicine for you to take right now, right? Because you've come to only value yourself as a paycheck provider, as a breadwinner. And if that's the case, you need to take a step back because you are more than just a paycheck provider. You are a man, you're a woman, you're a parent, you're a spouse. And you have to realize that. Stop identifying yourself by your job title and how much you bring in every month. Look at who you really are and who you want to be.